Well, tell me a little bit about the wreck that happened on the way from one race to another, where the pickup truck flipped over.
Oh, that
And
was
we're fast forwarding a little bit, I know, but
yeah. That's when Mario was driving for us, and we were doing some tire testing for Firestone at the Speedway, and Mario was running the final race, sprint car race, uh, in USAC, and they ran Salem, and then we had the pickup truck with a camper shell, and it had all the parts, spare parts, and stuff like that, and then we had a station wagon, and his wife's convertible. She had a convertible, and so the the station wagon that took care of the roadster. That towed the roadster home, and then we put a lot of spare parts. But the big carrier was the pickup truck and the dirt car, and that pickup truck had all the parts, pistons, valves, rear end parts, all the stuff it took us to run the year. And that was towing the dirt car. And then I was driving the convertible, and that had a little utility trailer on it. So those are the two cars and a utility trailer. And we had done a test at Indy for Firestone, and Mario had run a 250-mile race at Salem. And actually, he won the race. And, so the three of us, Clint, Mario, and myself, we headed for Phoenix to do a test there. And we were we were all pretty tired because we had been working late hours and so forth. And so we started out, and we had to be in Phoenix like on I don't know, it was in 3 days, ready to test. And so we were going out, driving straight through, of course. And we were in Weatherford, Oklahoma, never forget it. And we stopped, and we had a bite to eat. And then Clint, he had some bennies, and he said, "Okay, here's a benny. You take that, and we'll just keep going as long as you want." So we do that, and then we take off, and we're going down there. And I've often traveled that road all the time. It's a 2-lane divided highway with crossovers, every now and then. And so Clint was leading, and I was behind him, and Mario was in the station wagon. And we're going down this road, and Clint's in front, and there was some cars just up ahead, and they were in the right lane, and we were on the other lane. And all of a sudden, they decided to take a left in front of Clint. And they did, and he corrected because the trailer jackknifed on him when he had to put the brakes on that hard. And he hit the deal, and he went off the road into the median, and the race car broke off. The trailer broke off the pickup truck, and the pickup truck flipped, and it landed in the median between the two roads. And so we pulled over, and we jumped out, and we go over there, and it's upside down, and he's in it, and he's moaning and groaning, and we got him. He rolled the window down, and we said, "Clint, what's happened? Well, how are you? How are you?" And he said, "I'm bleeding." He said, "I'm bleeding." And he said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, we better get you out of there before this thing goes on fire." So we drug him out through the window. You couldn't open the doors and stuff like that. We laid him on the ground, and he wasn't bleeding. It was the transmission oil from the transmission was dripping through the gear shift deal and on his head, So we finally got him down, got him out of there, and then the state cop comes along, and he said, "Get a couple of wreckers out of here. We just got to rip this thing, get this thing off the highway, open this road up." And And Clint, by then he got his senses, and he had this big pitchfork he used to, it was a bar, a big pry bar, you know, and he's got that in his hand, and the cops telling him what he's got to do, you know, and he takes that bar and he sticks it right between this state cop's legs, and he says, "You ain't touching a thing of mine." He said, "This is my living, it's my livelihood," and he said, "Your people in this town have destroyed that, and you're not touching anything until I get it out of here." And the cop kind of stood back because he was ready to fight. I mean, the cop would have had to pull his gun and shoot him.
And they said that you guys just had a whole bunch of stuff thrown into the back. It wasn't really organized, so it was strewn all over.
But it was all in cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
You know, it was pistons and rings and valves and, you know, all kinds of car parts. And when it landed the camper shell, it just exploded and stuff went everywhere. And so we stayed there, and they built a little bypass there around where all the stuff was laying. And we started making a pile, you know, of putting stuff together. And finally, we were so tired and wore out. Mario had just run a race, and, you know, we had done this tire test. And so we went home and got a motel right close by there. And the next day we went out there, and Dean sent one of his moving vans out, and we just shoveled everything in there and all that. But that was a heck of a deal. That was that was something you wouldn't want to have happen.
Man, no, you wouldn't.
No.